We may be drowning in holiday releases, but that doesn't mean autumn is over just yet. Hi, I'm Haley, the Lacquered Wallflower, and this is the first time I'm talking in one of my videos, so let's see how this goes. Today, I will be sharing my seasonal selection, 10 of my favorite polishes from fall 2025. First up, we have Falloween, a shade I purchased from Kathleen and Co. And this is a magnetic polish with a violet base, a dusting of holo, and an orange to green magnetic pole. Now, I really love this sort of magnetic where there's a high contrast between the base color and the magnetic pigment, particularly when the magnetic is as snappy and reactive as it is in this shade. Because the base is a shearer jelly style, I did wear this one in 3 coats, and I liked it a lot that way. It really deepened up the color nicely. Next up, we have Gilded Grudge from Prism Parade. And this is such a luscious magnetic that sort of falls between gold and copper with a finish that almost looks molten on the nail. The gold micro-flakes really do a lot to elevate this shade, giving it more dimension than your typical metallic polish. And while I do show 3 coats on my thumb while I'm swatching the shade, on the rest of my fingers, I'm only wearing 2 coats and you can't really tell the difference. This is the Walking Bread, one of Apocalypse Polish's shades from their Zombie-licious collection, Shaun of the Deadland. This is a cooler toned bronzy brown shimmer shade with scattered hollow flakes and orange to green micro-flakes. It's very much a funky neutral kind of shade, which is one of my favorite categories of polish. And with the interplay of all the different colors, it just makes me think of dead leaves on the forest floor at the end of autumn, which is absolutely my jam. I do recommend going in for 3 coats with this shade so you can really appreciate the full depth of color. From Arcana Lacquer, our next shade of the season is Them Bones, a thermal polish that shifts from dark gray to a cloudy white with a scattering of opaque metallic flakes. This is a very reactive thermal, and I was surprised at how opaque it was. I only needed 2 coats when I swatched it. I waffled a bit between choosing either this one or We're Going Up, the black to white thermal Arcana released at the same time. I settled on Them Bones though because it's a more unusual color combination, and I fell in love with how moody and stormy it looked in its cold state. For our green entry into this series, we have Thorns from Faux Cosmetics. From the Frida Kahlo-inspired collection, this is described as a forest green jelly base with red-orange aurora shimmer, light and dark green reflective glitters, green hollow micro shreds, and red-pink iridescent flakies. So this polish has got a whole lot going on in it, but it is so worth it. This is a stunning shade, and it changes dramatically depending on what light you're in. I showed 3 coats in my swatch, but I only used 2 coats on the rest of my nails, and really, you could go either way with this one. From the collection that gave me nostalgic flashbacks to high school, this is I'm a Blood-Sucking Fiend. Part of Glam Polish's Buffyverse collection, the shade is described as a burnt crimson jelly base with both shifting iridescent and black flakies. I loved how rainbowy this shade was in particular, and it's so buildable. It'll give you very different looks depending on whether you choose to use 2 or 3 coats. I know yellow polishes aren't everybody's cup of tea, but I can't help myself. I love them. This gorgeously golden shade is Sunflowers from Fauve Cosmetics, and it was released as part of the Van Gogh collection from this past summer. It might be inspired by a different flower from a different season, but it's a pretty spot-on goldenrod shade that is perfect for fall. I swatched this on my thumb in 3 coats and used 2 coats for the rest of my fingers. I would definitely recommend going for 3 coats with this shade since my visible nail line is, well, still visible with just the 2 coats. This moody masterpiece is Dead Reckoning from Prism Parade's Tide Cursed collection, and I keep thinking it's called Dread Pirate Roberts because I have perpetual Princess Bride brainworms. Described as a deep navy blue based polish with gold to orange shimmer, this shade makes me think of street lamps reflecting off puddles on a cold autumn night. Truly, this one is nothing short of stunning, and out of all the polishes in the Tide Cursed collection, this one is my top pick. If I had to choose a favorite thing to do in the fall, foraging for wild mushrooms would be it. It's something I've done with my dad since I was a little kid, and this aptly named homage to my favorite pastime is perfection. Foraged from Arcana Lacquer has a muted brown-orange jelly base with red to orange shimmer, and it really does bring to mind hunting for chanterelles amidst the fallen maple leaves. I swatched this shade in 3 coats on my thumb and 2 coats on the rest of my fingers, and I think realistically 2 is probably all you'll need. For the final shade today, I have Shaun of the Deadland from Apocalypse Polish. Now, in my opinion, there's nothing quite like a good glitter bomb, and this is a good glitter bomb. It features a mix of purple, black, brown, and orange holographic glitters, all set in a clear base. It truly is Halloween magic in a bottle. 2 coats is probably all you need with this shade, but you will definitely want to use a layer of glitter smoother before applying your final layer of top coat. And that, as they say, is that. Thank you all so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed listening to me yap while swatching these shades. And please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more showcases like this in the future. If you'd like to see more indie polish content right now, check out these videos YouTube thinks you might like.